Okay, then does it also help to detox the silicone out, or do we don't know about that yet?
We don't know yet.
Okay,
No.
and what about repairing the nerve endings?
Well, that's repairing nerve endings.
That's part of the
very
restoration.
Simple. Yes, but I documented on the videotape called the tip of the iceberg. We grow the neuron fibers and we grow the nerve endings via live crystal. That's one of the things which, especially after surgery, the feelings comes back very fast, the numbness goes away, and everything, just the whole recovery is speed up tremendously by spraying it locally. You don't have to inject to it, just spray it locally with the topical on the surface.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Several people have asked questions about the eyes and things, but one thing that hasn't been addressed was cataracts. I don't understand the nature of cataracts, and I don't know if it's a disease or it just needs to be restored. Do you have any information on that?
No, we don't have any information. The only information we have that we have cases when the retina has been completely restored, and some diabetics and some with pigmentosis, they regain their eyesight. So some work has been done. But all of these areas, just treating like 5, 10, or 20 people on specific, it's not enough for conclusion. We have to treat hundreds of people.
Right.
Like in case of breast cancer, we treated so many people. I mean, the clinics treated so many people that we can safely say, yes, it's possible to have a 90 to 96% remission in breast cancer.
Can the life crystals be put directly in the eyes?
Yes, you can. But again, you're taking a chance when you have a lot of makeup on your eyes and you spray the live crystal into your eyes. So depending what you carry in with it. Otherwise, after shower, it's absolutely safe. When I use the lotion on my face and my bald spots, I also spray it into my eyes, and I have no problem with it.
All right. What about breathing it in your lungs with a vaporizer for people who have very, very bad asthma? Is that okay? That's not okay?
Yeah, some people do it.
Some people do
You see,
it?
we cannot recommend it. We cannot tell, because every time you do that, then you run into the regulatory agencies and FDA problems. So we can't really tell people what to do, but a lot of them are taking in inhalator, and they inhale the live crystal. So there's no problem with it, because it's first of all, it's sterile and it's pure, the purified one. We're not talking now the nutritional supplement, because the nutrition supplement is not purified. I wouldn't recommend anybody spray that into their lung.
Thank you. When you send a letter to Mexico, some people are going to send away from the Chondriana, and you're sending the letter. Do you need to put the doctor's name and address in that letter?
Yes, you have to identify your doctors who's going to administer it to you, otherwise they won't supply you.
All right.
And then the doctor should get a copy of that letter so that he's protected too.
Okay. What about brainstem injuries and people who are quadriplegics?
Well, we haven't had much experience with it. We have a couple of physical damage. They're wheelchair bound, and they're coming around very nicely. Recently has been treated, some of them also by Dr. Sanchez in Mexico, in Juarez, Mexico.
Okay, and I have one last question. Since you feed your kids life crystals and they're getting so healthy, have you ever given your children Chondriana?
No, my children didn't have any Chondriana because they didn't needed it. Okay. However, they're getting live crystal. But both my wife and myself, we had Chondriana, and we have a Chondriana baby because my wife conceived after we took the Chondriana, and my wife also took the live crystal during pregnancy. But we also have several other couples who could not conceive before. One particular one had herpes, the man, and the wife had a cyst in the uterus, so she couldn't conceive. They both went on Chondriana, they both recovered, and they both conceived, and they had a beautiful baby girl, 8.5 pounds in September. Ours was born in December. That was the second Chondriana baby. There's 3 of them we know already, people who took Chondriana, and they have babies, and the baby's very healthy, very strong. And what we also experienced, and my wife experienced, that the baby was much stronger right from the beginning, started moving and turning around much sooner, and also came earlier. And all the other ones, they came earlier, 2-3 weeks earlier. So they're very good, healthy babies. Since then, a lot of couples who could not conceive, and they went on live pistol, and they're able to conceive 2-3 months later, because it's basically restoring and rejuvenating the effect of rejuvenating the sex cells and the reproductive cells. One thing I think maybe it's worthwhile to mention here, that people who are on Chondriana, they will have, I'm sorry, not Chondriana, people who are on live pistol, first, they have more increased primordial cell production, but also all the cells will be stronger. And therefore, a male sperm can stay in the woman long enough to wait for the eggs to come in and get pregnant. And that's, we have some evidence to that.
Wow. I think I'm going to end on that one. Thank you very much, George.
You can provide the calendar when you use that pistol.
Good afternoon, George. My name is, Good afternoon, my name is Daryl. I'm from Lethbridge, Alberta. I feel very privileged to stand here and speak with you. Most of the questions I had have been answered. I'd like to thank all of you for the quality of your questions. They've been fantastic, and so have the answers.
Thank you.
I just have a few here. A few less, yes. One of those questions was for the learning disabled and retarded children and people. Has there been any study done in regards to this?
Yes, in some extent. As you know that we Americans sprayed the poppy fields down where the Mayans live in Mexico, with Paraquat, DDT, and pesticides. As a result, is an epidemic down there, children with birth defects. The digestive system is shot. They're having seizure and epilepsy. And these are young children. At 13 years old, they look like fine. They cannot develop because the digestive system is shot. The organs can develop, the brain not can develop. And we treated 8 of these children with live pistol, and with all of them, it was very successful. And one of the report and the picture is in the book, in the yellow book, no, rather the blue book. And this little girl was 8 years old and had 200 to 400 seizures per month. And she could not walk straight. She couldn't keep her balance. And they took her all over the country to all the famous clinics, and everybody gave up on her. She went on live pistol, and she completely recovered. She went on last Christmas, and by the end of January, her seizures stopped. She doesn't have any more seizures, and his condition is normal, and she's walking broke.